Welcome to the Marketing Revolution podcast. This is the underground movement of savage marketers from all over the world. We are not Fortune 500 companies. We are real entrepreneurs with real businesses that have one major thing in mind: to set goals and devour them daily. Because we understand that everyone wants to eat, but only savage marketers are willing to do the hunt. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hiley here with the Marketing Revolution podcast and the Marketing Savage Facebook group. I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Today, I am going to be talking about Google Map hacks. Okay. So many of you guys who may be in the service-based industry, you guys are definitely going to want to listen up to this podcast. That being said, just a heads up, anybody out there, we are going to be launching something fucking awesome. And that is going to be the savageafsites.com, where we are opening up our website service to every industry. So we're not just going to focus on the dent removal industry only, which we actually have the bestpdrwebsite.com for that industry. So if you guys hit me up on Savage AF Sites, I'm just going to send you to bestpdrwebsite.com, or we'll connect you over there. However, all the other industries that we're connecting into, we built an amazing SOP and a strategy and a system that we can quickly research exactly the type of keywords that you need, down to an entire process to make sure that you have like the best fucking website possible. So the fastest, the best, the cleanest. And we'll get further into that later, though. I'm not going to sit here and just keep going on that, because I'm going to tell you guys about a Google Map hack that you're going to want to be aware of. Okay. And one of the first things I want to start off by saying is that, like, Google Maps, they draw from a lot of different places, okay? So literally your Google Map ranking is going to be a combination of the actual title of your Google Map with your company name. And I had a guy who had a company that he created a company name that just did not even really jive with the service that he did. You know, one of these things where, you know, everybody knew what he did, but his company name really in the title on the Google Map, it did not have the service that he did in there. That being said, I actually had him change that, because Google Maps, they have a app that you can download and you can actually make changes. So he's on the phone with me and changes it. And pretty much he texted me back and said within 30 minutes after he put his service description after his company name, he was number one on Google Maps. So he went from not even being seen on Google Maps to number one. So that's one of the first hacks that I want to let you in on. The second one is that your website is set up to where the first 160 characters and the title tag of the website is going to be optimized to literally because going to be optimized to have the keywords in it. The way Google Maps, when they actually crawl your website, or when Google crawls your website, they're going to be able to correlate with what's on your website with your service. Okay. And you'll actually see that when you do some searches when you do some search on Google and you see Google Maps come up. Down at the little bottom on the left-hand corner, occasionally you will see something, a little bit of writing down there, a little bit of text that says service is on website, right? So literally Google Maps is pulling data from your website as well. That's important to know. So you want to make sure that your website is fully optimized, because they will pull keywords out of there. And people are actually to the point where, you know, I guess the back-end keywords are not as important anymore. What's really important is that the copywriting on the website is original, number one. Never copy and paste. Google knows that shit, and they'll penalize you for it. So that it's original, and the first 160 characters of that website, you want to have all of your keywords, or at least as many as possible, on each of the pages of your website, because that's going to be what Google and their organic listings, meaning when you search for your website and what comes up after the paid listings, Google is going to write that first 160 characters, and they're going to write your title tag at the very top of your Google listing. So you want to make sure your title tag is very descriptive. Clients and customers, when they're searching on Google, they want exactly what they came there. They don't want to go to 5 or 6 different places. Google prides itself on having a great user experience, meaning the only person they give a fuck about is the people that are searching. So that being said, you want to make sure that you are titling your title tag, and then also the first 160 characters to be eye candy to the individual who's searching, and then also have your keywords in it, which is literally what makes it eye candy anyway. People want to get results. They want to get to the place that they're looking for the quickest possible. We're in a day and age where people have very limited attention spans. So literally they just want to get to the right place, and Google wants to connect them to the right place. The next thing for your Google Maps hack, which is probably one of the most important things, but believe it or not, it takes like months to actually gain some traction on this, is so Google on their app, which is I think it's called like My Business. Shit, I don't know. I look at it all the time. Let me look it up. Yeah, it's called My Business is the name of Google's app, and it has the equivalent of a like a Facebook post inside of this. So I'm opening Google Maps right now, and at the very bottom there's an icon, and you guys can see this in the video, but there's a little icon with a plus beside it, which will allow you to post on your Google Maps. And look, this is just a local map right here. I've got 4,000 searches or 4,000 views, 1.8K activity, and 2.7K searches just on a local business that I own. So that being said, like every day you post on the maps, and you got to make sure the copywriting, the little bit of copywriting that you do on there, has your keywords on it, because you will notice Google now is pulling from these posts. And the more consistent you are with posting every day on your Google Maps, the better. And there's software out there that you can actually automate that. So that being said, there are 3 different Google Map hacks that you can use to not only create a better user experience for the client and customer, but also start showing up and ranking higher. Sometimes because people have done it right, like on their website, and they've their business that's been established longer and things like that, Google will rank somebody higher that's got like 10 stars ahead of somebody that's got like 50 or even 100. It's crazy, right? So, but the more that you do this kind of stuff, you'll actually see your Google map just going straight to the top. And the more reviews, the better as well. So they will rank people with higher reviews to closer to the top. And of course, it's all a variable of like where the location is when the person's searching. So if the person's on the other side of town, somebody who's closer to them may be coming up. So anyhow, guys, that being said, there is something you can do with that as well. And what I do recommend, this is going to be a little bonus that I'm going to add to this episode, is creating blogs on your website that have the keywords of the city and the service that you do, and then mix it up. You know what I mean? If you're a plumber, you might want to do if you're a plumber and you're in Cincinnati, you might want to do Mason, Ohio, right? Instead of running Cincinnati all the time, you service a surrounding community, you service Mason, you might want to do Mason Plumbers. And then the next blog that you create might be Mason Emergency Plumbers, right? And some people are like, man, well, how do I write my blogs and how do I get my, man, I'm about ready to drop some gold for you guys in this episode, man. I'm about ready to drop some gold for you guys in this episode. So people are like, how do I find the keywords for my blog? Go into Google, type it, search it in. Let's just say I put Mason, Ohio emergency plumbers, or Cincinnati, Ohio emergency plumbers, right? Go look at the bottom, all the different suggestions that Google gives you, and pick out the ones that are relevant keywords. It's the same thing that we do on YouTube and all kinds of other strategies I'm going to tell you on one of my future episodes here. Okay. So we'll go into that eventually, how to find keywords. How about that? That's going to be a podcast. It's going to be coming up. It's going to be bitching. So I'll go into an entire podcast just teaching you guys how to go and data mine keywords and where you want to use them and how you want to use them. So anyhow, y'all, appreciate you. And as usual, I'm going to see you on the next one.